Real Hot Radio. This is Mark live with the product. We are here speaking live to the brother. He is a phenomenal rapper. We see that he has an extensive resume, and we're here live, and we're going to be talking to him about his adventures in the hip-hop music industry. So, product, man, like I said, my name is Mark, man. It was a pleasure that you're here this morning with us, talking with us about, you know, your music career. And how you been, brother?
Absolutely. You know, first off, I appreciate the platform. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me on the show. You know, it's nothing. I'm good, brother. You know, real busy. A lot of shit going on. Just trying to stay focused and do what I do.
I feel you. Well, tell us, how did you get your name? Where does that name come from?
Well, Product originally, you know, it derives from a lot of things. Growing up, I had another name that I really couldn't run with, you know, because my real name, growing up, I had everybody call me something else. So the lifestyle that I chose and what I kind of represented as an artist, you know, Product made sense. It was self-titled, you know, it was a name that I had came up with. Growing up, I had a bunch of different names. I was probably like 30 different dudes. Any artist knows that it takes a while for you to actually find yourself. You know, if you started doing this when you was a young kid, it probably took a while for you to find your individuality in the music. And, you know, as I got a little older, you know, I found myself and I was comfortable in what I was doing. So when I started running with the name, it just fit, you know, it made sense for obvious reasons, you know, my life choices and what I was doing in the streets, and also just to represent, you know, everything as a whole. You know, product can mean anything. You know, it don't have to be nothing negative. It can mean everything in the world is a product. So I try to embody that with the versatility of my record. You know, so it just fits.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, I appreciate that, man. And how would you describe your music? Tell us about that.
My music is the perfect representation of me. You know, a lot of cats like to embellish. A lot about if everybody's murdering 100 people in the records, I usually just give you what you get. You know what I'm saying? My inspiration is my life. You know, that's how I draw inspiration. That's how I, you know, of course some records are going to be extra braggadocious. You know what I'm saying? But 97.9% of what I state is fact. So when I come up with my material, it's really just a reflection of my life or a reflection of life that's around me. So that's really how I bring my records together. And what I try to do also is I try to challenge myself. You know, I never want my patterns and my word schemes or the actual, you know, the way I articulate on the record to be the same. I never want to sound redundant. You know, I never want them to be able to expect the type of record that's going to come out from me. So I always try to challenge myself and break boundaries with different production and different sounds and things like that.
That's what's up. And you're originally from New York City, right?
Yeah, I'm still here. From New York.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Me being a New Yorker myself, I definitely feel what you're saying because, you know, I'm challenged with a lot of things as well, and I love a challenge too, you know. And being separate from, you know, a lot of things that's going on in the music industry right now is what's important because, you know, people are eventually, they're getting tired of hearing the same old, you know what I mean? And you being someone different and bringing your own individuality and difference and diversity makes you a hotter commodity for the music industry, you know, so I do definitely appreciate that, you know?
Appreciate that.
So what made you realize you wanted to pursue music? Tell us about that.
Well, I always knew when I was a little kid I wanted to pursue music. I always knew once I started writing, I knew this is what I wanted to do. You know, I used to watch Pac, and I used to see how passionate and how real and how true he was to himself and how people just gravitated to him like he had a voice. You know what I'm saying? And he had a voice that people listened to, and he had a voice that touched people's lives. And he was one of those artists that I could throw on and I'd be like, wow, this motherfucker's talking to. You know what I'm saying? With a slew, with any album we could choose. So I always was, you know, I was always like enchanted by that. You know, my dream was never the money, never none of that shit. I wanted to be in a room with thousands of people that knew every single word of my record. And still to this day, that's my goal. You know, that's still what I'm climbing towards. You know, with the grace of God, I'm in hot pursuit of that. But that was the most intriguing thing to me about this, to be able to touch people that was going through difficult things or living a lifestyle that was similar to me, and being able to have the world relate to it and hear my voice and hear my story. That was the most enchanting thing about this whole hip hop shit. You know, to be an individual and have people gravitate to the things that you say. You know, another thing I fell in love with was just the whole process of creation. You know, you sit one day, you got this blank canvas, and if you focused enough, 8 hours later, 6 hours later, you know, you got 3 verses in a hook of some powerful stuff if you really on your craft, you know. Like, and that was another thing I fell in love with. As I kept writing, I just kept getting better. I kept getting better. So I was just one of those kids that was locked in their room. If I wasn't running the street getting money, I was locked in my room. You know, blowing bud out my window, writing my rhymes. You know, praying to God my mother don't smell that shit. You know, and that's really what it was. You know, I fell in love with writing. Writing was like an escape, man. You know, with all the drama and all the shit that goes on in people's lives, you know, everybody has problems. You know, for me, in order to deal with them, I just took to that pen and pad, and that was just where I just wrote.
I feel you, man. That's awesome, man. That's a good way to escape, you know, from a lot of the problems, like you said. You know, be creative with the pen and pad, you know, and just express your thoughts, man. And you know, a lot of young people out here that, you know, they need to see it that way. You know what I mean? Some people escape in different ways, and you know, like you said, by the grace of God, you know, He empowered you to think of escaping in a whole nother way, and that's by using your pen and pad, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And now at this point, you know, people don't realize it. You know, I said it on the Daddy is a Dope Boy record. You know, we racing the closing curtain. We don't have all the time in the world here. You know, we're not immortal. You know, especially out here in the hood, like, you never know what could happen. So that's always a thought in the back of my mind too. You know, I want to make sure that, you know, I just want to make sure that I could be heard. You know, and I want to make sure that I can leave something back for my children, that they'll always be able to hear my voice.
Right.
You know, and that's what's most important to me right now at this point in my life, to build that legacy and build that brand, because I don't got all the time in the world. Nobody has all the time in the world. That's why I'm so motivated, and that's why everybody in my circle, I run around with a lot of dope MCs, you know, but a lot of these guys, you know, not all of them, but definitely some of them, you know, they stagnate and they take their time. You know, they take. You know, and the lack of motivation to me is you know, I can't surround myself by it. I'm extremely motivated because, you know, I figured out what I want. I know what I need to do to get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me writing and keeps me so focused at this point right now.
Right. I see you did a song with Fred the Godson. Fred the Godson seems to be a well-known artist in New York and, you know, in a lot of other states around the United States. And how did that come to place? Tell us about that.
Well, Fred's home team, his immediate circle is a lot of people that I know from my immediate circle. So people have been trying to get me and Fred together for a minute. You know, there was for years now, like from 2006 or 2007. So it just so happens, you know, I had a situation, I had a record, I was in the lab, we reached out real quick, you know, and he made it happen. You know, I hit him one day, hit him with the beat, hit him with the record, loved the joint, he came through and threw me the verse the next day. So after he threw me the verse, it was like, it's a wrap, I gotta shoot this visual. So we put the video together, you know, and it came out tough. That's still like a fan favorite. Everybody loves that record.
Yeah. Bronx Bullies is definitely a tough title too, you know?
I appreciate it. I feel like it fits the best. You know what I'm saying? It's one that just shows like a, you know, it shows you know, a connection to culture. Me being a Puerto Rican from the Bronx and Fred being you know, African American from the Bronx. You know, it just made sense. kind of bridge that gap. You know, and I did a lot of things with Fred's people in the Fred area because he grew up in Fox Avenue, and I'm not sure if you know who Mr. Papers is, but that's Little Kim's baby father. He's also, you know, within Fred's camp and TBM or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I had did some things for the kids, you know, a back to school job for the kids with Papers' little brother, Rob. Older brother, excuse me, Rob. We had did a back to school drive over there in Fox Avenue. You know, we gave out thousands of book bags. We fed the kids. We did a basketball tournament. You know, so I know a lot of people that's around Fred. It happened organically, and it came out tough. You know, street shit. People knowing people.
That's what's up, man. That's really good, man. That's a good way to give back to your community. You know what I mean? And you know, definitely the young kids that are out there right now that are looking up to the artists of today's times. You know, they need that inspiration. They need to see that there's positivity in, you know, even though they hear a lot of negativity around them, but they can still see the positive sides of what the artists are doing, you know, out there, especially in the Bronx. I know how tough it is out there. You know, I'm from the Bronx as well, and so I understand how tough it can be out there, you know, but just to have a heart to go out and, you know, and give back and show your face and, you know, and just, you know, show those kids to motivate them. You know, you never know what they might turn out to be. They might, you know, one day they might grow up and say, you know what, Product, because you was there and you showed your face and you showed us love, you know, you influenced me to go the direction I went, you know, and I became a good artist, or I became a good musician because of you, you know, and that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. Positive energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially with these kids. You know, you turn on the news, especially in our hood, if you know the Bronx, people that's killing each other is probably like 15, 16, anywhere from 19 to 16 years old. You know, so we try to keep these kids focused on other shit because you know how I go out here like crazy. So I definitely try to lead by example with things. You know what I'm saying? We come from that shit. We was doing that at those ages. And there was no mentor to pull me out the mud to be like, you know, you should be doing this. So, you know, I definitely try to, you know, always give back and try to put a positive vibes in the air with whatever we do.
That's what's up. That's what's up. If you had a chance to change anything about the music industry, what would it be? I would take it back. I know it sounds cliche, but I would take it back to the 90s, early 2000s, where you could not get a record deal unless you were super, super talented. You know, it didn't matter. It didn't matter about online presence because you got kids standing in a room with 30-round clip 9mm. You know what I'm saying? And they got 5 million views because everybody's astonished at how crazy they are. You know, instead of cutting these dummies checks, I would take it back to the essence, man, where if you're not a real fucking star, if you really not making groundbreaking music, if you really don't have the energy that you embody head to toe, like you not getting a check, we're not gonna continue to broadcast, you know, the bullshit. You know, it's just something like they saturated music so much that, you know, literally anybody can get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could get a deal if you put together a video. If you record a record and you put together a video and you throw a couple coins to get the video on World Star, if you do numbers, you're a superstar. You're knocking down your door. You ain't gonna be here in 2 years, but you're probably gonna make the label a couple $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bad business. Like, they taking too many dumb motherfuckers and putting money in their pocket to rape them for all their show money and rape them for all their bread in these 360 deals. And there's no talented people in the game except for a handful of cats that came out in the past decade. You know what I'm saying? Which really ain't a lot if you really going back. True. Very true. Exactly. Do you have any fan comments of how your music has affected or changed them on any of your music videos?
Say that one more time.
Do you have any fan comments of how your music has affected or changed that individual?
Yeah, man, to be honest, that's like the most humble experience out of all this. You know, people reach out to me on a daily basis telling me, you know, how much they love my music, and you know how like I got this record called Hold It Down. You know, it's a real popular record. It's grassroots, but it's doing big numbers. It's the biggest record I've released so far. And they inbox me about, you know, that's their life, and they're going through the same struggles, and they completely relate to it, you know, begging me to, you know, answer them. And I'm a humble dude. If I got the time, if you hit me in the inbox and you telling me your life story, like, they be telling crazy shit, man. Like, you know, their kid got cancer, or their mother just died, or their brother just got murdered, and my music is helping them through it, or, you know, I'm motivating them to become artists because they want to be artists, and you know, I'm their mentor, and they following everything that I'm doing and every move that I make. And you know, I sit back and I'm like, damn, like I really can't believe that I'm having such an impact on these young kids. Mm-hmm. You know, and some of them even reach out wanting to be down, they want to get signed, they want to do records, they want to do this. And we know, like, you know, they looking at it like it's a game at that point in their lives, not understanding that this is a business, and this is how I feed my children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there's a lot of things. The fans is what keep me going, man. Like, especially with the Daddy is a Dope Boy thing. You know, there's 100 people out there, millions of people out there probably fighting cases, you know, for things that they did or things that they did not do. And, you know, it's real humbling to really see that these people are really listening, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good experience, man. It humbles me every time I check my email, every time I check the Facebook. It's still amazing to me, and it always will be amazing to me that I'm touching these kids the way that I am.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. That's real awesome. And, you know, I never really asked anybody that question in any of my interviews, man, and I felt that, you know, that was a really important question to ask, you know, because the fans are definitely, you know, the part of the music business that, you know, that it gives you life. You know what I mean? They breathe that into you, you know, and then to see the responses and, you know, like you said, you know, the personal messages that you get, man, that's really inspiring, you know. And, you know, to hear that, you know, people in different situations, you know, that might not be, you know, 100%, they might be ill, or, you know, and how your music is motivating them and you know, and inspiring them and helping them get through their day. And, you know, that's awesome, man. That's a really good thing, man. You know, and another good way to give back is, you know, like you said, respond to them as much as you can, you know, because they're the ones that's supporting you. You know, they're the ones that's going to the stores or going to iTunes and saying, hey, you know, because he responded to me, or, you know, gave me that little bit of info, or spoke to me online, or, you know, whatever little thing it might have been, you know, I'm going to purchase his album because he needs that support. You know what I mean? And
yeah, absolutely. That and the young kids, you know how they do. They're going to go right back to school. They're going to be like, yo, check this kid out. You know, he spoke to me. You know, he's super dope. You know, and that's really what helps a lot too. You know, the young kids, they go back to school and shit spread like wildfire.
True, very true. People have imagined that it's nonstop partying out there. Is it true?
What, New York?
Yeah, like, you know, like you being an artist and, you know, you being in the spotlight. You know, some people feel like it's nonstop partying all the time. Do you feel like that's a true statement?
It can be if that's the lifestyle, if that's what you want out of this life. You know, if you're an artist and that's what you're looking for, it definitely can be. There's stuff going on all the time. You know? And if you in the mix, if you know the right people in the city, you know, you could be out there 7 days a week. You know, day parties, summertime day parties, night parties, everywhere. It definitely does go down for sure. But I'm too focused on my work. If it really don't make sense for me to be out there, I'm really not out there. I'm in the street all the time supporting my people, you know. My people's got things going on. I always try to touch. I always try to show love, but you know,
right.
I'm not a big party guy like that. I'm not one to go out to the clubs and be in the clubs, you know, turning up every Friday, Saturday night. Instead of spending $1,500 on bottles of champagne, I'd rather, you know, book a 9-hour session and record some records.
That's right. That's right. I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you big time on that one.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we still independent, man, so we can't be in these clubs drowning money every weekend or out here trying to show out every weekend. It's just not feasible. You know what I'm saying? It's just not feasible. We'll go broke before we even break out of the New York market. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely is a party. If you think New York is, everything they say it is, it really is. If you know the right people, you can be partying all day, all night.
Right. I feel you, man. But tell the fans where they can find you at. Tell us exactly online where they can find you at.
Absolutely, man. Everybody that's listening, you could definitely check me out at www.improdukt.com. IMPRODUKT.com. You can link me through everything off of the website. My Instagram is there, my Facebook, my Twitter, my SoundCloud page. From the SoundCloud, you can download a bunch of free music. The iTunes is up there if you want to buy any of the singles that we've released. There's exclusive interviews that I've done in radio. All the music videos that we published at dinner are right there on the site. I sat down with Jack Thriller. That interview is up there. I just 93.7 in Hartford, Connecticut. That interview is up there. And all the dope music videos. There's links to all the press that I did as far as print press, like magazines and blogs. If you want to read any of the write-ups that's there, just check out the website, www.improdukt.com. Everything will definitely be there for you.
Gotcha. All right, well, you know what, man, Product, man, he's one of the best interviews, I believe, and, wholeheartedly, that I've had in a long time, man, and I really appreciate you calling in and, vibing with us at Real Hot Radio. We wish you nothing but success in all your endeavors, everything that you do, man. We hope that it goes platinum and beyond, because I believe that it will, because of the individual that you are, just listening to, your conversation, man. I know that God will bless you in that way. And we hope that, we wish the best for you and your camp as well, everybody that you're rolling with. And we definitely appreciate you for coming through on RealHotRadio.com today, man, and sharing your time with us. I know it's early, man, but we really appreciate your time today, man.
No problem, Mark. I definitely appreciate the platform, man. I'm always here. You know what I'm saying? I definitely just appreciate the opportunity to sit down, chop it up, so everybody can take a listen, But we got a lot more coming. There's a lot of things I'm working on right now. And, if you stick with me, you're definitely going to be happy, man, because the stuff that I got lined up about to come out is going to be crazy.
Got you. All right, man. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. You have a blessed day, all right?
All right, brother. Peace. 100.
You too. All right, we are here live with Product. Product, how are you this morning, bro?